Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is officially, what day is it? Is it Tuesday? I was thinking it was Wednesday. Well, it is November 19th. Couldn't be happier, as always, to spend these fine mornings with all you Patriots out there who voted for Donald Trump, made America great again, and quite frankly, feels like everything's being normalized. I was making a cup of coffee this morning. You know, it's like 4:30. It's pitch dark out, can't see nothing. And it's just like, I feel like I'm just back to what things were like in my childhood. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels normal. Like I haven't felt this in a while. And honestly, even in 2016, I didn't feel this way. And I don't know why, because I voted for Trump in 2016. He won. Voted for him in 2020. He won. Well, and now, so I don't know what it is, but things feel normalized. And today we're covering a lot of major news headlines. We have breaking news here for you. A lot of talk about a World War III, which is not fun whatsoever. And it seems like little old Joey's inching us ever so closer. And UFOs, maybe? Like breaking news, UFOs right now? I don't know. I got to know what you guys think. I think they're just drones. I think they're drones. But we're going to break everything down for you. I figured, hey, we don't have a main sponsor for the show. And what I've seen other people that do YouTube is they just sponsor themselves. So I figured that's a great way. Today's episode's sponsored by the Bald Brad Store. Go to baldbradstore.com. It's the first time we're doing this, okay? And get yourself some hoodies. We got a lot of men and women that watch the show. Ladies, we got merch for you, okay? Look, we got women's tees. We got everything. We got hoodies. It's cold. So all this stuff, we got women's classic tee with the American Patriot in the back. We got mugs. We're a morning show. We got everything for you. Apparel, accessories. And I've seen the women's tee on women, and it looks good, okay? Prices are where we're not making much profit. Just want to let you guys know again. But so you might look at it like, Jesus, $24.99. Yeah, it's a third-party vendor that kind of does everything for us and ships it and all that stuff, handles it. So it's more or less so you can get merchandise, and if you want to wear the swag, you totally can. And we're also sponsored by my book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You can get yourself a copy on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. We used to be in Walmart, but meaning you still probably get it there. I'm not quite sure. Best bet is to order online. It is the holiday season. It is 35% off right now. And paperback, you can see there, under $14, folks. Great holiday gift. If you're curious on like what other people are buying along with my book, I don't know what it is, but people who enjoy Glenn Beck, this book has been bought with mine at the same time quite often. So head over there, Amazon. All the links are in the description below. Get yourself a copy of Trojan Horse as well as some Bald Brad merch. Well, some breaking news here. Let me wet my whistle a little bit. It's kind of cold, chilly, and my lips are chapped, and, well, my throat's a little dry. And by the way, let's give a little bit of shout-outs here real quick. It's kind of a different day. We got Stephanie, Miriam, Danielle, Karen, Cat Mom's in here, Dan, Q, 1969, Peggy's here. We got a lot of people over there at Rumble. I see you. We got Pat. Pat and Dizzy are always making trouble over at Rumble. Jeremy's over there, too, kind of in the mix a little bit. Love that. Dave's over there. We also have, I believe, the Dave over at YouTube. We got a bunch of Daves. Jennifer's over there. Everybody's here. Good to see everybody. Good. Okay, so a lot of random news. No like major theme here other than, major headlines. So we have this drone or UFO. Hell, I don't know. They're saying multiple people are reporting at least 5 unknown large drones that have been flying unauthorized for over 2 hours. That's a long time. I don't know the battery life of a drone, but that seems like a long time. Again, I'm pretty clueless with drones. But I guess they're also saying that law enforcement are responding with an Army Black Hawk tracking them. So I'm not quite sure. There's a bunch of different videos here. So here's one. This is why I don't think it's a UFO. That's clearly like aircraft lights, right? The red, the green, stuff like that. But the question is that what are they doing? And are these just people just flying drones in the middle of the night? I don't know. But this is a really good clip right here. I mean, that looks like an aircraft, and that looks pretty big. So anyways, I just want to bring that up to you guys, is that, are we having another situation where China's flying drones over our military installations once again? Not sure. Would Joey be willing to allow them to do that? Absolutely. Is that an issue? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big issue, big problem. And we will see. Now, what's the other big problem? Well, Joey is allowing Ukraine to launch missiles into Russia. That's a wee bit of a problem because Putin doesn't like that. And Putin has these things called nukes. And Putin is not exactly all there either. Ukraine fires first barrage of U.S.-made long-range missiles into Russia. So here we go. The news before, just 48 hours ago, was, Joey got there and authorized these long-range missiles to be shot into Russia. And everyone's kind of like, well, I don't know if the Ukrainians are actually going to do it or not. Of course they're going to do it. Why give them these missiles in the first place? Or authorize it, rather. But I'm pretty sure these are the same missiles that were utilized in the Gulf War. So Moscow says Ukrainian forces have taken advantage of President Biden's green light and launched these 6 Army tactical missile systems into Russian territory on Tuesday. That's today. This is not a good thing. Russia says it shot down 5 of the missiles and damaged the 6th. It added that debris landed in the area of Russian military facility, but that no casualties or damage beyond a small fire. Okay, well, Putin's not going to be happy about this because that just comes 2 days after President Biden approved Ukraine to use American long-range missiles. I don't know what the conversation was about between Joe and Trump when they met at the White House. I would imagine they talked about North Korea. I would imagine they talked about Russia. I would imagine they talked about China. I would imagine all these things. But nobody respects Joe. Do you guys see that photo op of him at the G20 and they put him in the back? It was like the first time in a long time America has been put in the back, and China, I believe, was put in front. The dude was just aimlessly looking around. It's just like, God, dude. It's embarrassing. So we're just one step closer now. I'm not one of those people that goes, oh yes, we need to go to war. I'm saying no war. I don't want war. I don't want World War III. I don't want anybody to have to go there and fight off somebody else's battles, which is what we always seem to be doing. I don't like that. And what I've seen some people do is they're kind of eager about another war. And, well, maybe they should get their head on straight. So here's the G20. And we'll see if you can spot Joe. I guess it's, where's where? And I'll be honest, I don't know where Joe is myself. Oh! Are we gonna find Joe? Where is he? Where the hell's Joe? Where's Joe? Oh! He wasn't there! He wasn't there! Exactly! Yes, David! Ding, 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 ding! You got it! He missed the photo op! Because he's wandering around in the Amazon. He left. He walked away. Rumor was all the world leaders were wondering where Joe was at. Dude didn't show up for a photo op. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. Truthfully, I really don't care. Right? Because it's I don't give a crap. Like, what do I care what these other world leaders do? I care about what goes on here. But anyways, yeah, he didn't show up. Was that part of the deal? Trump goes, don't you put yourself in one of those photos, Joe. Don't you do it. So we got drones flying over New Jersey. Blackhawks are following them. We're on the brink of World War III. And you guys, we're so close. Trump actually came out with a video message. I don't know if any of you saw it. It was kind of lengthy. But he was talking. I mean, he seemed kind of pissed about it. You know how he's been doing his normal updates, like, today we're going to be sitting there and getting rid of the Department of Education. Say goodbye, say la vie to the Department of Education. Goodbye, gone. See you later, fired. And he's been doing these like videos, right? And we've covered some of them. But one of them he came out with just the other day, over the weekend, rather, I believe, was Trump talking about World War III. And it, like I said, it's kind of lengthy, but he's calling on Putin and Zelensky to meet with him to get this war under control. And something he talked about in the video that's longer is the idea that we're ever inching so closely to World War III, which is scary to think about, but here he is.
Closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important.
No, spinning wheel of death. Why? Come on, Elon. Ah. Let me hold on. Give me a second. I apologize. So unprofessional.
Mayor, we will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us. It's the abolition of our national borders. It's the failure to police our own cities. It's the destruction of the rule of law from within. It's the collapse of the nuclear family and fertility rates like nobody can believe is happening. It's the Marxists who would have us become a godless nation worshiping at the altar of race and gender and environment. And it's the globalist class that has made us totally dependent on China and other foreign countries that basically hate us. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas while keeping us distracted from the havoc they're creating right here at home. These forces are doing more damage to America than Russia and China could ever have dreamed. Evicting this sick and corrupt establishment is the monumental task for the next president, and I am the only one who can do it. I'm the only one that can get the job.
All right, so it pretty much ends right there. Again, Trump is calling on Putin and Zelensky to meet with him to get this terrible war between Russia and Ukraine solved. And we have never been closer to nuclear World War III than we are right now, which is probably true. And I don't know why Joe decided to say, hey, now's the time, about almost exactly 2 months ahead of the inauguration of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump could be heading into a massive bleep storm here because Joey can't do his job correctly. Do want to give a shout out to Mike and Bruce. We got Bruce, 4 months. Bald Brad Army, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And with the badge. And Mike also joining the Bald Brad Army. Everybody over at YouTube, thank you so much for both those memberships. Honestly, memberships and you guys contributing mean more than ever right now. Not saying they didn't mean much in the past, they did, but I don't know if you guys saw my community note on YouTube. Is I was looking at the numbers. I look at my analytics every day to kind of see what's working, what isn't working, what do we got to change up, what do people like, and there's a massive just dip on November 14th from like across the board, from revenue to views to subscribers, everything. And I'm like, oh my God, like what happened? What happened on November 14th? And I said, could it be that strike that we got on YouTube? YouTube removed one of our videos, and it wasn't just removing it, you guys. They hit us with we got in trouble. You get 3 strikes, you're out, your channel's deleted. So I said, I think this one was a warning, but it hurts you still. Like not just a warning. Like if we get another one, it's like does something. I forgot what it was, but it is a strike basically. It's just we've never gotten an actual strike before. So I'm looking and I'm going, well, what day did they actually give me a strike on my channel? And I had to do that stupid ass training questionnaire and all that other stuff and appeal it. Do you guys want to guess the exact date that we see a nosedive and half of our viewership gone, everything gone? November 14th. I ain't giving up. I think YouTube misunderstands my agenda here. I think they totally misunderstand it. YouTube, this is a hobby. This is not a career. You could do all this bleep that you want to do to our channel. I say our because we're all patriots together. You can do whatever you want. If I had one person watching, I'm still doing this damn thing. I've always said it. It's just icing on the cake that we got 66,000. Okay. We got hundreds of people. Folks, we got thousands of people watching each and every day, by the way. So look, this is not a corporation. It's not about making money. It's not about, if it gets to that, that's great. But YouTube needs to be aware. I'm not going anywhere. You're going to have to shut us down. That's what I'm saying. And I'm dead serious about that, by the way. This is not a job. It's a hobby. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, oh, we're going to get rid of this guy by screwing with him all the time. No. So that's that. So I appreciate you guys joining up. It really does mean a lot to me. If you want to join over at Rumble as well, that's greatly appreciated. Follow us over there because, yeah, YouTube is commie. Oh, yeah. The censorship is real. And that's why Donald Trump's pick for the new FCC chairman is a big one, because he's going after YouTube, Google, Apple, all these big tech companies for censoring us. Remember, there's a massive lawsuit between Rumble and Google right now, and I believe they're still in the discovery phase. Look at my channel. Go discover that all you want, because I'm telling you what, the numbers aren't numbering. And look, if our stuff sucks, whatever, but a lot of patriots seem to like it. Okay. Dizzy says, come at me, YouTube. Yeah. Go after Dizzy. Don't go after me. Yeah. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. I think it's kind of a weird show today, nonetheless. We might as well talk about it. Is if I didn't really enjoy doing this, like I have so much fun doing this, then I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't do it. It's not like, I keep explaining, I don't like talking about money, but it's not about the money. It's about the community. It's about what we're doing here. It's about what we're creating. It's about having fun. It's about going over the news. It's about laughing at times, getting pissed off at times, sharing that cosmos with each other. And, waking up at 4:30 in the morning is not easy. Then go after this, I get dressed within 5 minutes. I head straight to work all day, and then I come home and do some more stuff for the show. I'm not complaining. I freaking love it. But you know what's struggling? That freaking just really just makes me butt my head against the wall is dealing with YouTube. It's like it's just they sit there and they have their favoritisms. So. Again, it is what it is. We're having fun doing it nonetheless. Screw them. Well, updates. Pennsylvania, openly cheating. And we said, how are they able to just not only cheat? By the way, it's not a guess. I'll probably get flagged by YouTube. Oh, conspiracy theory. They weren't cheating, election denying. Oh my God, flagged. No. They said they were openly cheating and they didn't care about the law. That's what they said. I'm just covering the news. Well, check this out. Court rules against Dems who defied law. Won't allow undated ballots. So at least this is a step closer to what we wanted and what should have been happening. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled in favor of Republicans again on Monday, reiterating that counties must reject undated and misdated ballots after Democrat election officials openly defied the order last week. Oh, it's conspiracy theory. Oh, you can't say stuff like that on YouTube. It's harmful. It's so terrible. I'm reading the news. There's nothing in your information, your policy that says I'm not allowed to read the news. It's what it is. The order comes as Pennsylvania begins a recount on the race between Democratic Senator Bob Casey and Republican Dave McCormick. Casey has yet to concede after multiple outlets, including the Associated Press, which is not right-wing, by the way, and the Decision Desk HQ called the race for McCormick. So this is going to cost upwards of like a little over $1 million or around that amount. And, hey, if the guy wants a recount, give him a recount. I'm all for it. I'm not against this stuff. I just want stuff to be done correctly. And for some odd reason, I'm not saying Republicans don't do this, but man, it is really in the news of Democrats just oddly enough are always the one to be cheating at a greater disproportion than Republicans. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And now they're so ballsy that they just openly defied orders last week. But do you notice that? You guys notice that they're not running mainstream news? Can you imagine if a Republican state was doing this? Can you imagine openly defying orders, going, they don't agree with the law? And they call us a threat to democracy. They call us a threat to democracy. They're still doing it, by the way. Wait till I get to that article. But we're a threat to the establishment, to the republic. Maybe to the establishment we are. But to the republic, give me a break. Openly defying actual democracy. We're the threats. We're the election deniers. Actively denying an election. Well, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro sides with the state Supreme Court ruling not to count certain mail-in ballots. The reason why this is a big deal was because, remember, there was people in Pennsylvania that were politicians that were saying, well, you know what? We're going to defy it anyways, and it doesn't really matter. I want the court to look at it. Well, if it's already illegal and you shouldn't be doing it, then why are you doing it in the first place? Now, we shouldn't be shocked because Democrats have been doing a lot of illegal things that they shouldn't be doing in the first place, i.e. what they're doing here. How about committing crimes everywhere? How about not executing the laws that are on the books from the top down, meaning from the federal government to the state level to the local level? Why are they not sitting there following the laws and regulations that are already on the books? And then when it goes with their narrative, they turn to, kind of a blind eye to the fact that they're breaking the law on a lot of things. But then when it goes against their narrative, all of a sudden they're rule followers. You know what I mean? All of a sudden things are, A-okay in terms of what should and shouldn't be happening. Interesting. And I'm talking about the border on that one, to be specific, if people want an example. I'm talking about the border, not executing the laws on the books. There's already laws there. You put us in a really tough situation dealing with terrorists, sex traffickers, drug trafficking, all this stuff taking place. And Trump's had enough. Trump declared war on the cartel, man. Trump is going to send in, I don't know if you guys saw that, there's so much content, I can't even keep up. Trump put out a video talking about how he's going to send in these, not Navy SEALs, but these reconnaissance groups to just go out and start eliminating these freaking cartel. Time to open up a restaurant. Now is not the time to be going and selling the doobies. Josh Shapiro is siding with the state's high court after the justices ruled that faulty mail-in ballots can't be counted amid a contentious recount, delivering a victory to Republican officials. Look how close this was. Reaffirmed the prior decision, a 4-3 ruling on Monday. Holy crap. Do you know how many 4-3 or by just one vote rulings we had in this country to side with things that should be correct? Who are these people? Look, we're all average Joes in here for the most part. I'm sorry to diminish us a little bit here, but we're just average people. We're average Americans that just want what's best. Why is there people that are ruling against what you should be doing of faulty mail-in ballots and just after the date? I mean, it was election day. It's not election week. It's not election month. Stuff was a while ago, and we're still dealing with this crap. Oh, here's another 70,000 ballots. Oh, no big deal. Frustrating, man. Really frustrating. Yeah, because they're tyrants, plain and simple. Yes, sir. I like that. They are tyrants. They want the power. We've got the power. I can't read Dave's comment over at Rumble, but he said, I'm an extraordinary a-hole. Not me, but I think it's him. Bradley, we aren't average. We are superb. We're all awesome. Speaking of that, again, if you want to be superb here, why don't we go back to our sponsor? This is really great. You can get American Patriot stickers, and we could put them on Democrats' helmets. How about that? There you go. It's a joke. Calm down, Democrats. It's a joke. It's a joke. Take a breather. Jeez, man, these people. Well, Sunny Hostin's back. Sunny Hostin's back. And Morning Joe went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss Trump's ring. Now, I have the clip of Morning Joe. I almost spit out my coffee because Joe Scarborough rejects criticisms of meeting with President-elect Trump, massive disconnect. This went viral, I suppose, yesterday. And like I said, we stepped on the butterfly somewhere. And it must have happened on election night. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts on it.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different, and that starts with not only talking about him, but also talking with him.
God, I've seen snippets here and there. I was really trying to contain myself. Oh, these two idiots. That's what they are. Folks, for years, they said this guy's a threat to democracy. He's a threat to the republic. He's going to tear the country apart. This guy right here, this guy goes, if he's elected, Donald Trump's going to start arresting people and executing them in the streets. That is almost an exact quote. I don't want to hear anything these two idiots have to say. And I'm using that word as clear as possible. They're not idiots in every regard, right? I hate when people do that. Well, you called them an idiot. Yes. In regards to them giving the news, yes. Because I had to listen to them complain for years about how this guy's a threat. And then all of a sudden, you just want to go to Mar-a-Lago and meet with the guy. Oh, he's not so bad. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. Well, we're going to sit there and open lines of communication to get him. We're going to cover Trump and talk to him. You know why they're doing this? Because the ratings suck. That's why. CNN, you guys, during prime time, CNN, this is MSNBC, but CNN was getting 60,000 views. That's insane. There's YouTubers that get way more than that. Not even close, way more. Every live stream, they get way more than that. Like Dan Bongino has like hundreds of thousands of people watching him every live stream. Live stream. Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles. I mean, all these people are getting views more than CNN is. So they have to change because, gee, I don't know. They're going to go out of business, or hopefully so. But I don't feel any different to Joe Scarborough, who has sat there and spewed his garbage about Donald Trump for years. And I'm not exactly like super like loyal to like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to bend the knee to the guy. I'm a big fan of Trump, obviously. But all of a sudden, people's ideas of him are just suddenly just flipping on a dime like that. All of a sudden, it's just, oh, yeah, you know, he's pretty cool. He's a good guy. It wasn't cool in 2016 to support him. I would know. I was one of them. None of my friends in Hollywood would talk to me still. None of them. I had friends, as you guys know, I'm part of the Screen Actors Guild. I'm not a great actor. I will never pose to be a great actor. Matter of fact, I suck at it. A lot of my friends that I had found out I voted for Donald Trump. None of them talk to me anymore. Maybe Cliff would reach out. Maybe Cliff. Other than that, none of them. Which is sad because I liked them. I actually enjoyed their friendship. But I lost all because it wasn't cool. It wasn't normal. Now all of a sudden everyone's wearing the hats, right? Doing the Trump dance, went viral, which I'm all for. But I don't want to hear Joe Scarborough's crap here about like, oh, well, you know, we got to cover him now. We got to say things. Yeah, well, we'll see if you cover him fair all of a sudden, because I don't know why you would go meet with a guy that's a threat to democracy. I sure in hell wouldn't. I wouldn't. So here's Sonny Hostin saying that they basically kissed the ring as if Trump's a king. Trump is not a king. Look at that face. Jeez, well, what the hell is that? Not planned. Not planned. Eesh.
Look, the bottom line is that America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever. And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news. He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy who attacked 3 black female journalists. He's the guy that revoked Jim Acosta's press credentials for asking him a question. And so...
See how they manipulate that? It wasn't about just asking him a question. You kept interrupting the guy. You were sitting there unprofessional. That's why everybody knows who Jim Acosta is. The guy's a jerk. Nobody liked him. The White House press briefing room didn't even like Jim Acosta. The guy created it as a circus and a freaking zoo, which is why the White House, not press secretary, but the White House, like correspondence corps had to sit there and implement and reevaluate what they were doing to be more professional in the room, because Jim Acosta's a freaking clown. And he should have had his press stuff removed because he was disallowing other people to get questions in because he kept interrupting the President of the United States, Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, hell, whoever else was part of the White House press, because it was bad. So don't give me this stuff. And by the way, let's call out stuff. Notice that she sat there and chose to talk about Donald Trump removing somebody's press badge. How about Simon Atiba right now hasn't had a question in over 2 years? Not over 2 years, but pretty close to 2 years now. Simon Atiba actually had his press badge, right? It's literally the African-American guy, not just a black guy, African-American dude that covers Africa, sat there and got his press badge removed and kicked out of the White House for a while. And no talks about that. Not racist. No, not that. Can you imagine if Trump removed a press badge from a black person? How they would have been up in arms. How could they? How could they do it? So what's happening here is because the people that watch The View are so ignorant that they actually can't tell when they're being manipulated by one of their hosts.
I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media. And I don't think he can be trusted in the way that other presidents can be trusted. This is an aberration.
But the reality is he doesn't just have Fox News. He didn't do a lot of
Somebody else screenshotted it. Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you. Who was that? JB. Oh my goodness. They must have good ratings because people are clearly tuning in because they keep espousing this nonsense. You have to be a pretty thick skull to spew kind of this. I mean, I don't know if you read between the lines, right? Basically calling him a racist, right? Because he went after black reporters, allegedly. Trump goes after everybody. Trump goes after everybody. If you sit there and go after Trump, Trump's going to sit there and give you the boot to your face or a punch to your jaw. That's just who he is. He's a bruiser. He's a roughneck guy. He's from New York. Like, that's who he is. And they don't get it. He attacks everybody that goes against him. Welcome to Trump. Welcome to Trump. For some odd reason, they can't sit there and self-reflect that maybe, just maybe, some of the stuff they say is wrong. I'm not saying everything they say is wrong. Obviously, they're entitled to their own opinion. But, you know, it definitely made me reflect when I saw that Joe Biden got 81, 82 million votes. I at least sat back and I was like, damn, like, how does this make sense? Like, it doesn't still to this day, by the way. To everybody else, it still doesn't make sense. Going like, how is he the most popular president? Even at the time, it didn't make sense. But even after, right? It shows you he's not the most popular president. Some foolery maybe took place. Well, one, we have the evidence of it. And two, they booted the guy. They booted the most popular president that's ever been elected in United States history. They kicked his ass to the curb. The dude had more votes than Barack Obama. By a lot. And they kicked him to the curb. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. They produced those votes. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. They came out of nowhere, just truckloads. Now, a CBS anchor throws objectively out the window, gets passive aggressive over Trump's cabinet pick. I mean, they are losing their minds over these picks. Pete's a good pick. He's a fine pick. And I don't know what it is with these people, but like, they get their panties in a bunch, be like, well, he didn't work his way up through the system, and he didn't sit there and have all necessary qualifications. They don't get that that's what we're trying to do. They don't get, and I really, can we explain it to them, Patriots? Is that okay for a second? Can we really dumb this down for these knuckleheads on the Democrat side of the aisle, mostly the progressives that sit there and can't wrap their head around this stuff? Listen, we don't want establishment people. We don't want all these hardcore politicians everywhere. We want people we can trust. We want average people like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, Pete Hegseth, like these types of people. And if they are politicians, we want people that actually have a record of speaking on behalf of the American people. Marco Rubio, for example, his foreign policy puts America first. He's in the position of foreign policy, so he's going to put America first against China, Putin, North Korea, and other countries. They don't get it. Pete Hegseth is tired of this woke ideology. He's a roughneck guy. He's going to get stuff done. They don't get it. I don't know why. We got Mike over here with the $5. Thank you so much. It's not a lot, but I appreciate your voice. Mike, it is a lot. Be honest, man. I'm being honest. It is a lot of money. Thank you so much. It matters more at this very moment than you could possibly imagine. Keep up the good work. Let truth reign. Thank you for that nice comment, man. That was really nice. And again, if it was $1 in this economy, even if it wasn't this economy, you work hard for that money and you decide to give it to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. No matter what somebody spends, I am always greatly appreciated. Some of these people, right? You give a bunch of money, even if it's $1, and like, oh, they don't even shout out $1 sometimes. I will always do that because that's your hard-earned money. You worked for it. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. So here's this clip about Pete Hegseth.
Past week, Republicans won the House majority, and President-elect Trump made nominations to his cabinet. Some nominees appear to have no compelling qualifications other than loyalty to Trump. The nominees are Senator Marco Rubio for...
Did you hear what he said?
...qualifications. Some nominees appear to have no compelling qualifications other than loyalty to Trump. The nominees are Senator Marco Rubio for
Yeah, no qualifications there, huh?
Secretary of State. Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, no qualifications there. Was just a captain, right? Actually been in combat. No.
To lead the 3 million people of the Department of Defense. He's a combat veteran, most recently a morning show host on Fox News with no government experience.
Folks, can I give you an example here? Because this actually might happen. I'm going to pause it because Dan Bongino got a little bit choked up in his episode yesterday. And it was a very small segment. Like I'm talking maybe 10 seconds or less. And he told his audience, because he was with Trump at UFC 309. And I promise it plays into this. He was at UFC 309. And he said in the past, I don't know if you recall this, especially when Donald Trump got shot, he said, I am willing to go back into the Secret Service to protect this man. I am willing to go back and basically be Secret Service director or run the show. He implied in his show yesterday, and I could be wrong, I'm trying to read between the lines, it seemed like Dan Bongino did talk to Trump. And at this point, it's not up to him, meaning up to Dan. It seems like we'll know sooner or later if Dan Bongino is actually going to be Secret Service director or going back into the Secret Service to help protect Donald Trump. And he got a little bit choked up and he said he'll let his audience know. I've said it. Dan's people. Dylan knows Dan's people. If they need somebody to come in and host for a few years, I will do it. And the second he leaves the Secret Service and comes back, I will step down. No qualms, no ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs. It can still be called the Dan Bongino Show with Bald Brad. Or Brad Roberts, however they want to do it. But the reason why I bring that up is, one, that's an update on him. But two, are you telling me that if Dan Bongino became a Secret Service director, that he's not qualified because he was just in the Secret Service? In the same way this guy actually was in war, this guy saw combat, this guy was a captain, he actually led people, and now he's the Secretary of Defense and he's not qualified? Are you going to say the same thing about Dan Bongino that actually sat there and protected presidents? This is the crap they pull.
Former Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, in charge of law enforcement. Gaetz has been investigated by Republicans for alleged drug use and sex with a minor. Gaetz denies those allegations. Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. She sought a pardon for Edward Snowden, who leaked U.S. secrets and now lives in Russia. And Robert Kennedy Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services, a skeptic of vaccinations. It's up to the new Republican majority in the Senate to decide whether these nominees are equipped to represent the American people.
Well, that wasn't biased at all, was it? Everything that dude said was negative about those individuals. Didn't say anything good about them. Oh, he's a vaccine denier is basically what he said. Oh, he's not qualified. The guy was just a veteran. What an a-hole. Dizzy, thank you so much for the $1. He says, hi, Brad, with the alien and the smiley face. Thanks, Dizzy. Greatly appreciated, man. Thank you so much. Dizzy's always supporting the show, and as is everybody else that sits here and watches every single day. I've always said this, and you guys know this. I just feel like I need to say it. You do not have to give your hard-earned money to the show. It is appreciated, and it does help tremendously. Trust me. But don't feel like you have to when you see other people going, oh, well, I should do. No. You just watching. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. So let's just go through a few of these comments really quick here. It says here, 60 Minutes of CBS isn't news anymore. It's just leftist trash propaganda. Correct. 60 Minutes is the new SNL. Yes. No self-respecting person is going to appear on your bleeping show, leaving you with nothing but angry ranting. Correct. Look at this. Holy lordy. Yeah, remember, we're the weird ones. Remember they called us weird and you have this image? Look, jeez. Yeah, this is what our military looks like. This is why we need Pete back. Yep, here's another one. This is a person wearing, and you know, again, they're serving our country, but wearing, I don't even know what the hell that is. There's a word for it. I can't keep up. People wearing this, like, they think they're a dog or something. I don't know. Weird as heck. Drag queens with Kamala, bowing. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at here. Sniffing children, a guy dressed as a woman leading the Health and Human Services, I believe, right? I don't even know what that person's name is anymore. Can we go, what the hell is this? Can you imagine you're China and looking at this stuff? Or Russia? Why would, he's breastfeeding. And you're going to sit there and talk about Pete Hegseth. You're going to talk about all these people. RFK, Tulsi Gabbard. He is trying to breastfeed as a guy. And their Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, I believe is the next Department of Transportation, Secretary of Transportation. I think it's Sean Duffy. And this is, and they're complaining. I don't know what to say, guys. It's just, you do try to make sense, right? You try to sit there and think about, okay, how could this person think this way? And let me try to figure it out. It ain't happening. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Well, we have some updates here on Oprah Winfrey sit down. Now, where do we even start with this one? Because there's been a lot of movement here. The goalpost has moved. So Kamala Harris sits down with Oprah Winfrey, right? Disaster of an interview. And allegedly she paid Oprah $1 million. That was what we heard. Oprah said that Oprah didn't see a dime of that money. Okay, that was her own words. She was caught like walking to her car, like on a trail or whatever. And then she said to clarify or something along these lines of, well, the production team needed to get paid. So the production team was $1 million. Well, then it said 2 million. Well, now we're up to 2.5 million. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign didn't pay $1 million for the star-studded Oprah Winfrey interview, but closer to $2.5 million for the sit-down interview. Folks, she's in debt. Not Oprah. Well, Oprah maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about Oprah, but Kamala Harris's campaign's in debt. I don't know if you guys heard this. This came out yesterday. They're not able to pay their staffers. Yeah, the people that worked for Kamala aren't getting paid because they don't have any money. And she was supposed to lead the country. I have all these great ideas. I'm going to sit there and make sure the economy's fixed and that your kitchen table issues. Lady, you couldn't figure out the kitchen table issues for your own damn staffers. The own people that actually gave their sweat and tears, right? You know, they were crying. They're not even getting paid. I mean, talk about irony in like its greatest form, that you sat there and worked for a woman that says she's going to fix all your issues. But just as she did when she was working in California and also vice president and as a senator, making your life worse. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't write this. The same stuff that we're saying, yeah, she's going to make your life worse, like she's not going to make anything better, she doesn't have a plan, actually played out with her own staff that couldn't see it. And here's the remarkable thing. They would still vote for her. Thank you. Yes, 100%. She does lie. Two people with knowledge told the New York Times that Winfrey's company, Harpo Productions, was paid nearly $2.5 million for the September Harris Town Hall, which saw host Oprah Winfrey joining by such stars as Meryl Streep. Ooh. It shows you, again, Hollywood thinks that we all care about their politics. We don't care anything about their politics. That's why nobody watches the Emmys. That's why nobody watches the SAG Awards. And I'm part of the SAG Awards. That's why nobody sits there and watches the Oscars, because you guys sit there and spew your nonsense and you don't know jack bleep about anything, and you still think your small town of Hollywood is having any effect on anybody, and it's not. Case in point, what you just saw. They'll never wake up to it. Now, here's what she said, right? I was not paid a dime. Sounds a hell of a lot like what I told y'all. For the live streaming event in September, my production company, Harpo, was asked to bring in set design, lights and cameras, crew, producers, and every other item necessary, including the benches and the chairs we sat on, to put on a live production. I did not take any personal fee. Well, I mean, you don't have to go like balls to the wall, right? You could just sit in a room with her and do an interview. Do you know what I mean? I mean, folks, if she wanted to sit down with an interview with me, all I would need is a camera, my OBS stuff, and my computer. And all I need to do is just pop up a camera. Maybe I'd have to get some mics, a couple $100, and I would get the same effect as they would. Maybe not like the production value of it, but who cares? You shouldn't care about the production value of something. You should care about what the things that person is saying on that set. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could be in a freaking closet and give your opinions and people would be interested in it. Case in point here, maybe not so much the opinions, mostly the news, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But so anyways, they spent $2.5 million on that garbage. She was going to fix your issues. She was going to fix your issues. Holy shit, man. Can't even budget. Can't even budget a campaign. Holy crap. God, dude. Can't even fucking budget a campaign. You can't write this. That's why I'm laughing. You can't write this stuff. She's gonna sit there and increase our wages. Doesn't get paid. Can't get paid because the campaign's bankrupt. She's gonna get us out of debt. Can't because the campaign's in debt. She's gonna spend our money wisely. Spends $2.5 million on a bullcrap production. Spends like $12 million on this celebrity, $10 million on this celebrity, does nothing. Oh, God, dude. I'm out of coffee. I need to start doing multiple cups here. I'm still laughing at her. I know I seem like a crazy person, but it's hilarious to me. Yo, these people are idiots. She's gonna fix your issues. Can't even run a campaign appropriately. Yeah, she's gonna run the country. Well, Democrat Jim Clyburn is still part of on the Kool-Aid. So not hyperbolic to say Trump is another Hitler Mussolini. Oh, okay. Now, we do talk about Mussolini in our book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. So if you want to get a real history lesson, well, that one's for you on how actually the Democrats move more towards Mussolini than anything. But check that one out. We go from left to right in this country, he said. We go from right back left to in this. We go from right back left in this country. And I always say, well, whether the pendulum is going from left to right or right to left, it always passes through the middle. Wow. Poetic. Intellectual. Difference maker. Let's see what else he says. We're learning a lot here from Jim. Now the country has gone lurching back to the right. I hope it's not going to go as far right as which happened in Germany in the 1930s, but you may remember I forewarned way back in 2018 that I saw this coming. I've studied history all my life. Now, when you say stuff like this, you guys, now's not the time to brag about you knowing history. I see connections. I've been seeing a lot of leftists say that, right? They'll sit there and pan the camera over all their books, right? I study history. I know all about World War I and World War II, and there's connections to be made. There's always connections to be made. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. It's called a correlation. We use it in statistics all the time. Now, there could be one variable that correlates highly and more appropriately than maybe the rest of the variables and actually would be able to be worked with in terms of making some educated guesses of what some sort of outgrowth or outcome could be. Absolutely. But these people, you know, yeah. Let's check this out.
They're seeing it.
But how are we seeing it? He's not president yet. I mean, are you visiting another Hitler? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I said the 1930s in Germany.
Yes, you did.
And, of course, and we can go to Mussolini in Italy. These things.
So you don't think that's a little hyperbolic?
No, you may think so.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's hyperbolic is asking the Senate to approve all your nominees without any vetting. That's what's hyperbolic. But now they're seeing it.
But how are we seeing it? He's not president yet. I mean, are you visiting another Hitler? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly.
I want to make sure that I got that again on that repeat. That's exactly what I'm saying. At least he's clear. And at least he's doubling down on the crazy rhetoric. Remember how Donald Trump had an assassination attempt on his life and then multiple plots? And we were told by Joe Biden, we need to cool down the rhetoric. We need to stop calling Trump Hitler. We need to cool it down. And then like the same day, like hours later, Trump's Hitler. He's going to destroy this country. He's going to tear up the Constitution. He's irreprehensible. And then like the whole country goes red. Well, that is today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Bob Brad Show, covering major news headlines. Everything seems to be going back to normal, which is nice. And normal might look a little bit different because there's things that we haven't seen in our lifetime where we're moving back to because things have gone so off the reservation of this government that it's not actually recognizable to us anymore when we go back to what things are supposed to be. So be on the lookout for that. People are going to say, well, this isn't normal. Well, what is he doing? This is so crazy. It's so outlandish. Well, it might seem crazy and outlandish because what we've been doing since we've all been alive here is crazy and outlandish. And now that we're moving back to what things are supposed to be like, it seems a little bit different, but it shouldn't be. It should be what's considered normal. We've just been out of the normal for so long that, again, it's not recognizable to all of us. So be on the lookout for that. They're going to try to manipulate all of you. And I will make sure I bring you all the news throughout however long we go. Thank you so much for everybody that contributed hard-earned money. Our sponsorship today was baldbradstore.com. Check out that merchandise. Get yourself some swagger. Also, check out the book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. It's the holiday season. It's a great gift. It's a great gift. So we'd love your support on that end, folks. Thank you so much. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. Check out all the links in the description, and I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show. On the Bald Brad Show. Sounding Joe. Take care, Patriots.